I think the environment has been...
What we're saying is have a heart.
We've got to be able to regenerate our
There'll
company.
be people who are kind, people who are cruel, but that's life. You can be bigoted about things. I'm fine with that.
What's wrong with Singaporeans?
Let's talk about the behavior of this small group of people. What makes them end up in this situation?
Okay, I'm not sure I want to use the adjective small group of people, okay? To me...
Relatively, I mean by the statistics.
No, if you go by, if you look at the macro view, definitely Dr. Suri has got the numbers that shows another picture.
Yeah.
But that is a very personal issue, right?
Yeah.
If you're the person who's owing the money, it's very personal to you. And it is very stressful situation. Now, how people get into debt, frankly speaking...
And worse, it affects the family.
Yes.
Can I ask here whether there is a typical profile
of
those who get into debt?
Okay, what I can share with you is the average. The average DMP client is around age 14. All right? In other words, in fact, about 70% of our clients falls between age 30 to 50. All right? It's the sandwich group in the way you have young people, maybe children to take care of, and perhaps old folks to take care of. Their average take-home pay is about 2008, as mentioned.
For the household?
For the debtor. The debtor is about 2008.
About household.
All right. The wife may or may not be working. About 75% are men, 25% are women. Okay. Average tax line is about 80. So that's why they owe about more than 2 years of their net take-home pay. So this is not a sum that is easy to service, right? Because if you're talking about 80,000 at 3%, you're talking about 2,400.
So what causes them to do it? Is it?
Of course, some people, because they want to keep up with the Joneses.
Okay.
Some people, they want to get rich quick. Okay, so they gamble. Okay, sometimes they say stock losses. Of course, some people, unfortunate situation, got retrenched. Okay. The not so bad but also bad enough is got pay cut. Okay, got pay cut, you still have a job. The worst is that you don't even have a job. And of course there are situations like because of medical expenses. Either they don't have enough insurance or they did not buy insurance or whatever. Alright? And there are also cases like some people who are very kind. You know, their family come to them, want to borrow, their friends want to borrow. You know, they don't really have the money to loan. What they do, they take their credit facility to loan it to the other party. And it's not that the other party don't want to pay back. Sometimes they can't afford, they can't pay back themselves. If they cannot pay back, you are the borrower, you'll be responsible.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of reasons. There are people who spend. There are people who spend, like what I say, they use credit facility as their supplementary income. You know, traveling, it can be really big items like maintaining a car when they only take home about 2,000. But maintain a car in Singapore, easily, a mid-sized car is going to cost you 1,600 or so per month, easily. So, but they don't see it, you see. To them, it's that, oh, every month I pay another, okay, for example, they may be so used to taking taxi, all right? So they may say, oh, every month I spend about $500 on taxi, you know. If I get a car, so they count. Not now, let's say about 3 years ago or so, when the car price is not as scary as now. They say, okay, I get a car, maybe $800 a month. I can afford it, another $300. But they forgot, what about the petrol, road tax, insurance, parking, ERP, all this add up. It's actually easily 1,600 to 1,800.
Yeah, and I think it's also just, again, the cost of living. I mean, it's a spending society. I mean, you can't walk anywhere without running into a shopping mall. I mean, it's, like you mentioned, nobody pays with cash. I mean, there's even credit cards market off of that. You'll see the advertisements, people tapping. Yeah, it's easy to go in, it's easy to spend, it's easy to use that card and go out, but you're also paying interest on that card as well. So I mean it's just this culture of just convenience, and credit cards are very convenient. They're very easy to use. I mean, and they market it so well. I mean, you get, benefits with these cards, and they heavily market these benefits, petrol discounts, free travel insurance or whatnot. So there's a lot of these little enticing factors that make people want to apply and use credit cards. And I mean, on our business side, I mean, ever since we started tracking, this stuff, in terms of applications, I mean, it's actually a big part of our business. and it's something that is consistent month to month. So people are still getting credit cards, it's still being approved, you know, people are still applying.
Is that a healthy thing? The way they're promoting credit cards and the way people are using it?
Well, I can't make judgments on whether it's a healthy thing, but I'll tell you they're doing the right marketing thing, you know, and I mean this.
They're effective.
Very effective, very effective.
All right.
Interesting, as an educator, I always love that we teach our students all the fancy stuff, all kind of equation and derivatives and so on. But two most important courses in life that we don't seem to have courses for them. One is financial management, the personal level. Number two is relationship. Yeah, these two we never really teach teach our youngsters.
We teach the asset side, how to make money. You know,
Yeah.
we don't teach the liability side.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. There's definitely room for education. Yeah.
So these are people who are spending beyond their means.
Yes.
So
Generally
this is,
speaking.
if you live and spend everything that you earn,
Yes.
there is no buffer. So when you face a financial difficulty,
yes.
a change,
Yes.
then
Yes,
you
correct.
suffer.
Yes,
So
you're right.
in fact, we shouldn't be spending what we earn, but we should actually be thinking of having a buffer
Yes.
for hard times.
Saving is for rainy days.
Yeah.
So perhaps perhaps
So
that's
saving
what
is a very important part, but aren't we a nation of savers?
yes, savings, right? 20% is already forced saving into the CPF.
What I'm seeing now, I mean, I already went through 3 recessions myself, and I'm a good, you know, example of what I was in debt, because I had this illusion at that time in the early 30s or late 30s, earning, you know, quite a good decent salary, and I just pay by 10%, that kind of my credit debt. But when crises come, situations like that, there's no way out of it, okay? And I believe that the next crisis will come very soon, to be honest. Why are we starting government having all this, you know, what do you call it, the new unsecured credit loans, all the regulations and all that, the housing recently as well. It will happen, because if you look at about 3 years, right now we are living in a very good economy, right? So far, everybody has a job. But hang on, everybody has a job, but do their salary go up as intended with the expenses that's going up?
Inflation, yeah.
I know, for example, some of my friends who are working for the same company, started, let's say, 2008, 5 years down the road, they're still earning about 3,002 or 3,003. Because the company is not giving them the kind of salary, but their expenses has gone up. The mortgages, the food, everything has gone up.
But now you're talking of rising cost of living, and I think that is a contributing factor to the debt problem.
It definitely is. I have friends who are now in the same situation as I was, and I'm trying to tell them, take that credit card and cut it out and start negotiate with the banks, because you will come back to a situation where I was 7 years ago or 10 years ago. But they don't see it that way. And it happens to be the younger ones, because they feel, oh, I'm earning 3,000, 3,005 decent salary. But to be honest, 3,005 is nothing as compared to in the 80s or in the early 90s.
What disturbs me a lot is the fact that, you know, I've given a lot of talks.
Yes.
Every time I give a talk, I ask people, do you know when your income is, what's your income and when does it come in? Yes, we do. Sometimes we know what day, what date, what hour. If it's less
but they
by
don't
20,
know when to pay their bills.
well, less by 20 cents, I know. You know? But do you know your expenditure?
Yeah.
Very seldom do you get more than 5% in that room saying they know that. So I say, if you know your income, you don't know your expenditure, how do you know what's your balance every month?
Correct.
And if your balance is a negative balance, means you are actually accumulating debt every month without knowing it. And therefore it is like a cancer whereby it is growing every month, month after month, without your knowledge. So that's the main issue, I think, with a lot of cases. There are people who are faced with rising cost of living, but because they know what their expenditures is, so they make adjustments. And they manage to keep that balance as a positive, or at very worst a neutral, and avoid going into debt.
Yes.